Right. 5 November 2024. And today I'm reporting from Washington. I've been here the whole day. And I'm right now at Capitol Hill. So this is the seat of government in America. So what happens here is that a lot of all the government related stuff happens here in Washington. And I've been going around since earlier today, just seeing what's happening. And I know most of you guys are sleeping. So when you wake up, you'll be able to see what I'm doing here. So what has happened is that the voting has been taking place, and voting is just about to come to an end in a few hours, especially here in Washington. So I'm at Capitol Hill, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to turn my camera now so that you can see what is happening. There is heavy police deployment, and Capitol Hill has totally been sealed up. You can see here, this is police lines, right, around Capitol Hill here. So anything to do with Capitol Hill is filled with this police line, do not cross. And there's lots of police all over the place, especially at strategic locations around Capitol Hill. So Capitol Hill is up there. And then I'm going to show you a video. So this is a video of what is happening around. So let's go to an old video that I've got from the past. Let's see if I can find that video. There is a lot of police, especially at certain locations. So let's look at what I've recorded a few minutes ago. Police are deployed in these areas. So let's see if I can find that video. If I find it, I will upload it and you guys will be able to see it. So there is something called civil unit. That is the guys who deal with people just doing stuff. And behind me, you're going to see police here. So there's police everywhere, just in case there's a disturbance. And it's all over around Washington. So Washington is the busiest place right now for elections. All the government-related stuff is happening here. So guys are right now protecting this area. And let me show you one video of police heavily deployed here in Washington, just in case. So you can see that there's civil disturbance unit over there. They've deployed because anything could happen at this time of the day. So there's a lot of police now. And also here. Yeah, so if you look behind me, you're going to see two police walking. And then if you look here, they have sealed off this whole area. There is no one allowed to move in here. You are not even allowed to visit. These are public areas where people normally go. So you're not allowed to go there. That is because the results are anticipated and you don't know what's going to happen when the results come out. So I'm going to move away from this area. I don't really want to hang out here. There's not much to see because they just sealed it off with the police line and with also, you can see here, these metal barricades. So you can't cross into that area. And I'm going to take you now to another strategic area where police have been deployed. So anything to do with Capitol Hill right now, you can't go in, you can't walk near. And there are also other areas. I don't know what is in the area near Tiffany. If you keep going down, I'm going to show you later, that area that I initially showed you. There's heavy deployment there. So I don't know what results are going to come out, but I can almost know right now what's going to happen. So I'm somehow suspecting something, but it's just, I'm kidding, guys. I'm not suspecting anything. I'm just saying when the results are about to come out, obviously, people have to be careful. Police have to be careful, and they have to deploy. You know what happened last time? The results were released. It was bad. So this is Washington. Washington is amazing. It's the place where all the government-related stuff takes place. So anything to do with government, it's here. I walked and I did a video of all the work that I did. I'm going to show it to you later on today. But American elections are very interesting. And by the way, I'm accredited, guys. Boom. Gambakwe media, gone international. Kachano, Kachano, Kaka Tanga Kachita Pachea, Kabuska for America. It's not in that one, guys. So, as I was saying, there's heavy deployment. Check out at the top here. And so, as I said, elections here, they are not mostly on issues. They are mostly on partisan lines. So a person who is a Democrat, so let me turn my camera away. A person who is a Democrat is unlikely to vote for the Republican Party. And a person who is Republican is unlikely to vote for the Democratic Party. Something big must happen to shift the balance. That's why there's such a big balance. And as you can see, there's more deployment here taking place. There is police, DCPD, put your hands up everywhere. And this area where I'm moving, it's even worse. So I was still saying, people vote on partisan lines. So a person who is a Democrat is likely to vote Democrat. A person who is a Republican is likely to vote Republican. Unless something happens, something so big, then people will stop voting, or people will vote for a president. So we're going to more police. Right here where I am, there's more police deployment. Like every corner has got special police. They are wearing a uniform called special police. So I was saying, if someone is a Democrat, they likely vote Democrat. Republican, they vote Republican. What is going to shift the votes is if a segment of the voters changes their mind. For example, the male black voters, they are going to play a big part because their life is becoming difficult for them due to higher prices, lack of opportunity, and they're getting disgruntled. So you saw what happened earlier. The Democratic Party was trying to make sure that they speak to the black male voter so that they don't shift. Because if a large number of black male voters shift, that also shifts the vote. However, it's unlikely that an average person would suddenly vote for a different party just because of that reason. So let's see more here, more police. You see that? More police. So every corner has got police. There's no corner right now that doesn't have police. So it's unlikely that someone who is a Democrat is going to vote for Republican and Republicans vote for Democrat. They will stick to their areas unless something happens. And what has happened is, ever since I was here 14 years ago, prices have gone up quite a bit, especially the price of housing. So people can't buy houses, especially that demographic I was talking about. They can't buy houses. They can't get into business. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Those are the kind of things that are happening. And that is something that could shift the vote. There's also the issue of the border. When I was in Africa, it was a big issue to me. But now that I am here, I can see that the border might not be as big an issue as I thought. I don't think the border is going to make a big impact. There's too much opportunity here. So it's a paradox. What I just told you and what I said in the beginning, it's almost the opposite. That there's no opportunity, but then I say unemployment is at 5%. The problem is, what is that 5%? What is that 95% of jobs made up of? That we're saying unemployment is at 5%. Unemployment is 5%. Who makes up the 5%? Who is unemployed and what kind of jobs are they working? So when you walk around here, you see that the male black voter is very heavily affected by the things that I'm talking about here. And they probably are not seeing growth in their world. And they're seeing people around them getting wealthier. They can't buy a house. Their child can't buy a house because the house costs a lot now. Like over the past 2 to 3 years, rentals have shot up and price of goods have shot up. I can say prices of everything since I was here have doubled. Since 14 years ago, I can safely say prices have doubled. I can also say safely that the price of houses have gone up by no less than 5 times. I'm not lying to you. If you try to buy a house in New York, you're unlikely to do it. You won't be able to afford the bond. and your house is getting smaller, your rent is getting more. Those are the kind of things that are driving sentiment during the vote. And this is what could result in the change of a president. However, if it so happens that because of certain factors, the candidate you didn't expect to win wins, and then that is when you have to deploy the guys who can keep the peace. So let's go and I show you again the deployment I'm talking about. I took an earlier video. Police are very, very deployed here in Washington, just in case. So you can see that there's civil disturbance unit over there. They've deployed because anything could happen at this time of the day. So there's a lot of police now. And also here. Right. So you see, I'll keep playing that for a bit so that you get the point. I don't have to keep looking for police everywhere so that you can get my point. I've shown you one. There is at least 4 key spots where the police have deployed around Washington. Washington, D.C. is a new place. Like, everything is new, man. There's no old buildings here. And it's clean. Like, look around. Everything is this neat. Like, this is how neat it looks. Every single building you see has been renovated and cleaned up, and it's beautiful. Like, here is the richest guys here. Easily, the richest guys live here. Like, you can see the biggest cars around me. You see BMWs, you see sports cars, you see Jaguars. This place is not like New York. New York, you see tourists and all that. Here, you rarely see a tourist. Well, you do see tourists, but not as much as in New York. You don't have a place like Times Square here, where people that just gather for no reason. Here, you see people that are working in government. You see armed guys. You see soldiers. This is Washington, D.C. So this is where government, when government changes, it changes here in Washington. And as I said, Capitol Hill, where I was there, very big protection. And this is where people feel the heat. If a government changes and you're in a position and the opposition party comes in, you lose your seat, you lose your position. You don't maintain your position. If you were PEMSEC, I don't know what they call PEMSECs here, and the government changes, you lose that position. Someone else comes in. People will come in, they come with their own people. So that is what happened in this place. And you see flags everywhere. Government departments, this is where they are. And security is big here. Like, you are secure on almost everything here. So let me move across. It's my chance to get in. I could live in this place, guys. America is very organized. Like, for pedestrians, this is the best place. There are numbers on all the traffic lights. You know exactly how many seconds are left. And you see those bikes over there? You can rent that bike and start, that guy, the one who's moving the bike, and then the ones that are parked over there, that's lifts, you can move around very easy. So let's continue with the discussion. The discussion we are having here is on what is going to happen. Why they've deployed so many police, what is going to happen today, who do you expect to win, what I expect to happen. Beautiful bus. Yeah, you don't see it, but it's nice. So what I expect to happen is the vote is not going to be determined by the issues. It's going to be determined by the organizing. So let me repeat that again. The vote is not going to be determined by the issues. It's going to be determined by the organizing. That is where you'll be surprised to see my prediction being Kamala is going to do so well. That is my prediction. When many people expect Trump to do well, I don't think he is organized as much as Kamala has done. I was in the train right now. Kamala had their people at Philadelphia where I was. They were in the train. They were in the windows of the houses. You can see they've put the Kamala signs there. You can also see that they are moving around. In the train, they walk around with the Kamala t-shirt. It means they are coming from a community where they were organizing on the ground. So you might see, let's say, for example, Trump showing up a lot on TV and saying controversial stuff. But you'll be surprised to see her winning because of the groundwork that she's doing. That is my thinking, that the organizing that is happening at the ground level, and also the kind of voting that is taking place. Many people have voted ahead of the actual election today. They voted using what we call electronic voting. So let's see if my comments are coming here. Just in case I'm talking to myself. Ndako Harare, ndoko Harare here, mukoma Tringo no kunonzi Washington DC. Washington DC Harare it's not like Harare. Harare is like New York. And Washington DC in Zimbabwe there's nothing. But in South Africa it's like Pretoria, the seat of government, or Cape Town. This is where the money is. The money yakazara. Kunoku, there's money mkomo. When you're moving, you can smell money in this place. There's no tall buildings here, no skyscrapers. Look at the size of these buildings. This is the size of every building. Yeah. And there's government everywhere. Everything here is a government agency of some sort. So this place, there's money, there's order, and this is where things are happening. If you walk into a place here, like I just went to get my credentials here, my media credentials, and what you see there is people who are friendly, human, who talk to you. The government here is very much in touch with the people, and people are at your service. So the government of America, the people who work there are at your service. You talk to people, they are not hiding somewhere, they're not busy with their own thing, they're at work. When I got there was someone, I call a phone, they answer. There is order in the American government. That is one thing that we need to build in our own government. The government of Zimbabwe lacks order. I know order. Government Mnangagwa, if you go to his office right now and phone anyone, there will be no answer. Mnangagwa himself has not been into his office for a long time. You never seen Mnangagwa. People, when they see Mnangagwa in the office, they run. Say, let's go clean the bathroom. Because Mdara Hashiki office Mnangagwa. Maybe Chwenga Kapinda, together now. You know, different. Let's see what are they building here. So every building is under construction. There's building taking place. So you can see there's no police. The police are at Capitol Hill. Then as you go down to Tiffany, there is police there. And I showed you that video once again. Let's show you. That is a representation of how the police have deployed. I'll just show you again so that you can see. Police are very deployed here in Washington, just in case. So you can see that there's civil disturbance unit over there. They've deployed because anything could happen at this time of the day. So there's a lot of police now. And also here. Right, so I think where I am right now, it's kind of a residential area. So there's no traffic light. Though. Let me cross. Let's see. And the number of Teslas I see in this place, in this area, this particular area, is amazing. That's why I was saying this is the home of money. There are so many Teslas here in this area. And I think the guys are going to sleep now. Let's just watch out for one or two as you go. So I'm going to make you look away to the front now so that you can see more. It doesn't make sense for me to make you look at me throughout. You'd rather be seeing the streets of what I'm seeing rather than seeing me. So as I said, this is the residential. The flats here are bigger. It's not those tiny flats from New York where people live. The bikes work. You can see that there's a lot of bikes here. And it's safe. There's no moment when you feel someone is going to snatch your phone or anything. Washington is great. And this is a family area, as I said. We've got lots of kids, lots of families, lots of women walking around. And cars parked on the streets. So who do you think a place like Washington is going to vote for? When you think about it, who do you think a place like New York is going to vote for? So it's like the CC and ZANU-PF. The Democrats are CC and the ZANU-PF Kutambanga man. Zanupef kutambanga. Ndapaka ndataura kuti Zanupef ndanani. But that is the situation. There's also that divide of the rural and urban vote here in America. The rural vote tend to vote for the Republicans, and the more town vote tend to vote for the Democrats. And it so happens that there are areas here where there's a lot of racial mix. So a lot of different races, like here in Washington, there's a lot of racial mix. If you go to New York, there's a lot of racial mix. But as you go to the rural areas, it becomes less and less of a racial mix. So the vote also changes in that way. And you can see it here, it's more of a suburban area. So less restaurants, more homes. So when I talk of homes, check out here. This is like an office block with a home, and the restaurant at the bottom there. So people can go and eat. This is Capitol Hill Medical Center. But you can see how it is. It's very neat. It's not hectic. It's not busy. I'm taking through the back of this thing. And people, as I said, are using bikes. So they don't walk like me. They use these bikes. And those bikes are not theirs. They are just parked on the street. You just take and you start riding. That is how it is over here. So I want to turn left on the next street, and then I'll go back to another area, and I'll probably go live later on. But I do not expect to see the actual results, like sitting in one place and them getting announced like they're doing Zoom. I'm not going to do that. I've got another thing to do today. I've got some meetings, some important meetings. Look at yoga. Yoga, guys. Yoga. So this is the Beben. My rich moms. Yoga. If you go there, that's what you see. So I'm gonna find a spot and turn left. And I'll give you more information. I've passed this spot before. This spot where I am. Here. From the top. In fact, I don't want to go back to the top. So let me keep walking, because I want to show you another area. So I'm gonna make you look this way. And you can see under the bridge, they don't have as many homeless people as New York. New York, there's a lot of homeless people. They even have homeless people inside town. But here in Washington, you don't have homeless people. So the life here is way better. Look at the apartments here. Way bigger and way better. The life of someone who's living in Washington is totally different from someone who's living in New York. New York, the apartments are small, very small and high. You can be living easily on the 200th floor in New York. It happens. Here, it's cool and people are running. You can see jogging. The life is more relaxed. It's like, as I said, Cape Town. This is the life here. More relaxed, less of a fuss, especially on this suburban side where I've gone here in the suburbs. People are walking with their dogs, you see, and you can even see. And now we can hear the police again. The sirens are going as we're going. Let's see. Where are we about to get right now? That's one place I hear the Japresa, guys. That was shocking. Like I was walking this afternoon, And I found a guy playing jab praiser, like inside Washington. I was like, what? But anyway, Mazimba, the first person I found in New York was a Zimbabwean. Ndikipinda, just as I entered Washington, sorry, New York, JFK, as I was getting out, the first guy, Mazimba. That's very silly. So that was the first thing I saw when I was JFK there by the airport. And when I was at Kenya, guess who was there? Mazimba, making ruja, like making a lot of noise. Kenya, that's the same. Yeah. So as I'm saying, look at the place. And I'm just walking with you until I go to the station so that you can see another area. I'm just about to turn here because I'll probably get lost now. I don't know where I am now because I've gone too much. I've walked too much. Probably walked all the way back to town without realizing it. Because these things happen, you know. When you're not familiar with the place, you end up turning the wrong way. So now I'm going to turn left. I think I should. Yeah. Let's go under this bridge. Okay, I turned off the sound for that motorbike. So now we're under the bridge. Look at the camera. It's watching me. So there's a camera here. And Porsche USA. It's pretty safe here. I don't expect to be jumped by anyone here. If I'm jumped in Washington, then I don't know where I'll be safe. This one place where I expect to be safe is Washington. I don't expect to be jumped like other places. And you can see there's a lot of journalists here. Today, there's a lot of foreign press all over Washington. But Gambakwe, those are the kind of guys that you're going to see doing the work. The rest of the guys are waiting for the results. It's just who are doing the groundwork ahead of time so that you understand what's going on. You will never see most of what I'm showing you here because it doesn't sell. They don't have hours and hours to talk about what's happening on the streets. But it's my job to show you. This thing happens once every 4 years. We're going to wait for another 4 years for me to come back here and show you what I'm showing you now. And next time, I'll be bigger. I'll be having a bigger channel. I'll be having a team. I won't be holding my phone. When you see me in 4 years' time, Mark can remember this day. 4 years ago, we didn't do this. So we're slowly growing our media. Gambakwe is going to do well. Zimbabwe media is going to do well. Our country is going to do well. High-speed rail is going to be a reality in Zimbabwe. We're going to do high-speed rail. So let's see, my battery is running out. Right, I'm on 9%. So I have to go so that I don't cut off. I have to go. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. You can see police here, more deployment. So let me take you there. So there's more police deployment here. So this is everywhere. So every corner, there's police deployment. Because they don't want to take chances. So I'm going to end with that. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back again later, showing you more.